After waking up covered in snow on planet Nibblehham, Mickey wonders how he is still alive after falling into a deep cave. He is an expendable who has been sent by humans to discover new life. While all of his systems are malfunctioning, a spacecraft arrives on the scene. His friend Timo descends down to rescue him, or so we think. Timo only takes Mickey's weapon and makes an excuse that his rope doesn't extend any further. He claims that coming all the way down is not worth it, since they will simply print another Mickey. It is Mickey's 17th time being born again, and now that Timo has left him to pass away, they will simply print the 18th one. As Mickey nervously awaits his fate, some curious creatures show up in the cave and begin to make noises. The biggest creature descends and swallows Mickey whole. Back at the lab, Mickey 18 is being printed by the human printing machine, while a team of scientists is gossiping nearby. Mickey's consciousness and all of his memories are stored in a hard drive that looks like a brick. While he gets a new body every time, all of his past memories, thoughts, and feelings are transplanted into the new brain. In a flashback, one of the past versions of Mickey is working in a spacesuit. It is revealed that the human printing technology is banned on Earth due to ethical reasons, and all of this is only allowed to happen on board a space mission to colonize the newly discovered Nibblehham planet. While Mickey is repairing the space vessel, someone tells him through the radio that they purposefully exposed him to life-ending cosmic radiation. As his face is being burnt by the radiation, a space rock hits his hand and it goes flying into space. The team members on the radio laugh about this as we see another Mickey being printed. This time, the team of scientists runs some tests and concludes that due to an error, this expendable will only live for 15 minutes. One of the scientists named Dorothy comforts Mickey as he waits to pass away. We now see Timo and Mickey back on Earth before they were recruited for the space mission. As they are running away from loan sharks after a failed business venture, they get electrocuted by highly advanced shock collars. The two friends are seen with their mouths taped shut and their arms tied as the debt collector claims they only have 4 weeks left to repay the loan. Mr. Darius Blank is a skinny old man who is calmly having dinner, and he is revealed to be the man who runs this gang of loan sharks. As the Twisted Man films, a young man is unalived with a chainsaw, giving Mickey and Timo a glimpse into their future if they fail to repay the loan. To escape his predicaments on Earth, Mickey applies for the space colony expedition. While Mickey grows hopeless upon seeing hundreds of other applicants, a news reporter announces that the space expedition will be led by former Congressman Kenneth Marshall, who lost the elections twice. He is a failed politician on Earth, but he has managed to secure a generous sponsorship for this space mission. While his motives remain questionable, his fanatical supporters ambush the news reporter in hopes of getting picked. Meanwhile, Mickey gets interviewed for his application. The receptionist is shocked that someone has applied for the expendable position, since it is not very common. During this, Mickey spots Timo shaking hands with someone from the space mission. Apparently, he has landed a position as the flitter pilot. While Mickey is feeling nervous and jittery, a beautiful woman named Red Hair shows up. She asks Mickey if he has looked at the paperwork. He lies and says yes. While she leads him down a tunnel, he can't help but admire the smell of her luscious red hair. He is distracted by her beauty while she explains how the machine prints new humans using organic waste. She gets him to change into a high-tech bodysuit and puts him in the machine for initial scans to save his body proportions. She inserts the brick drive into the machine so all of his memories and personality traits can be stored and reused forever. She gives him a special injection to reawaken old memories so everything can be stored. The movie recap shifts to Mickey's childhood. He pressed a button in his mom's car, causing her to crash and lose her life, while he survived. When he starts to cry upon remembering this traumatic event from his past, Red Hair walks in and hands him a gun, instructing him to unalive himself, since they can now print more of him anytime they want. When he doesn't take it, she puts the gun on his head and pulls the trigger. However, the gun is empty. Mickey nervously smiles and tries to play off this rude prank. The mission finally takes off for the 4.5-year journey to Nibblehham. On day 1, Mickey is being served gross-looking food. When he takes slightly more than his calorie allocation, an alarm starts to buzz. While he nervously eats his food, Kenneth Marshall and his wife named Ilfa walk in. While everyone starts to cheer and applaud, Mickey doesn't understand the hype. During this, he locks eyes with Nasha Barrage, who also seems indifferent to the blind devotion towards Kenneth Marshall. They sit together, and Nasha offers her leftover food to Mickey, which he is happy to take. While Marshall and his wife deliver a phony speech about conserving food, restricting intimate activities, and living sustainably on the ship, Mickey and Nasha start a romantic affair. While they're making naughty drawings together, Mickey claims that this journey would have been hell without Nasha. She stands by him for moral support while he is getting treatment inside a machine, and later, he helps her get ready. They have secretly become an ideal couple. One day, during lunch, 2 rude guys sit next to Mickey and ask what it feels like to die, implying that he has been reprinted multiple times at this point. Nasha arrives and puts a gun to the man's head. This puts Mickey and Nasha in temporary prison. Later, Kai Cat sits next to Mickey during lunch and offers him some of her food. While he compliments her hair, Nasha seems to get jealous. While another Mickey is being printed sometime later, scientists forget to bring the stretcher, and the new Mickey starts falling to the ground. This shows how casual it has become on the spaceship to send Mickey on dangerous missions and simply reprint him as many times as they want. The ship is shaking vigorously as they finally arrive on Nibblehham. Mickey is the very first person sent out to the surface of the new planet. The team inside instructs him to take off his mask and take deep breaths so they can detect if there are any harmful viruses on the new planet. Once back inside, Mickey vomits blood, implying that there definitely was a virus in the air. They toss him in the incinerator and print a new one, but he also happens to have the virus. They keep printing and burning Mickey again and again until they develop a vaccine for the virus. We now see Kai and other soldiers walking freely outside because of the vaccine. They discuss how it has been a while since their arrival on Nibblehham, but Kenneth hasn't started any of the projects he promised. They are still living inside the ships and eating artificial foods. Mickey is also following them as they enter an ice cave. While they are admiring the beauty of the cave, Mickey takes a silly fall. Kai goes down to help and hears some creatures in the distance. While one of the creatures attacks Kai, another soldier opens fire. The creature dodges all the bullets and goes back into its tunnel. While they start leaving, one of the female soldiers opens fire on a creature above her, causing tons of ice to crash on top of her. Back on the ship, Kai is crying while Mickey tries to comfort her. Marshall appears on a video call and berates Mickey for being useless. While looking at a picture of the creature, he assumes without any scientific evidence that the creatures are hungry for human flesh. Being the ignorant fuggo that he is, he names them creepers. As a punishment, Marshall doubles Mickey's work shift and halves his food ration. While Mickey is out working, Timo delivers a tiny portion of food via parachute. As Mickey takes the first bite, the ground beneath him crumbles and he falls into the deep cave. This is the scene we saw at the beginning of the movie. The story now continues in the present as Mickey 17 is being dragged away by the giant creeper. The smaller creepers come to take a closer look at him, and we see that they mean no harm. They are curious, just like puppies, and they only want to get a closer look at Mickey. All of the creepers come together and push Mickey out of the cave. We thought they were going to eat him, but instead, the kind creatures saved his life. While the creepers bid him farewell and go back into their caves, Mickey runs after a truck and hitches a ride back to the spaceship. The workers think he is Mickey 18 and simply let him enter. Once inside, he washes his face and falls on his bed, only to realize Mickey 18 was also sleeping on the same bed. The two Mickeys are shocked to see each other as 17 begins to scream frantically. He had no idea that he had been replaced so quickly. 18 seems to be more calm and collected, and he simply asks 17 why he isn't dead yet. 18 seems to be much more of an extrovert as compared to 17, who is often shy and timid. 18 threatens to unalive 17, since multiple expendables are strictly prohibited. He runs after him and throws a dumbbell on 17's head. We see a flashback to Earth. During a conference, scientists are being questioned about all the risks associated with the human printing technology and how it can be used for evil purposes. One of the pioneering scientists behind this technology turns out to be a certified psychopath. A female witness at the police station identifies Alan Manikova as the man who was seen unaliving a homeless person. However, Alan has an alibi. When the crime happened, he was getting his makeup done for a children's science show. When a SWAT team finally breaks into his house, they see that the scientist has already created an expendable of himself, so he can commit crimes while also using the expendable for an alibi. While both the Allens were being interrogated by the police, a third Allen is seen unaliving a homeless man yet again. All three of the Allens are posing for a mugshot while Kenneth Marshall is seen speaking at the conference. He agrees that this technology is evil and shouldn't be allowed on Earth. However, some trials should be allowed in space under his supervision, and multiples will be strictly prohibited. A jury of scientists agrees to this. Back on the spaceship, 18 is dragging 17 in a cart, with a plan to throw him in the incinerator. 17 arrives from the back and tries to attack 18 with the same dumbbell, but he isn't brave enough to go through with it. 18 simply slaps him and tackles him to the ground. As 18 strangles at 17 and tries to push him into the fire, Timo arrives on the scene to burn some junk. 18 runs away with 17, and both of them hide. They witness Timo selling an undiluted oxazifol capsule to a man. While they're used for fuel and flamethrowers, you can also get high on them. During this deal, Mickey 18 reveals that he wants to unalive Timo because it was his stupid business idea that caused them to get loans from Darius Blank. 18 walks out without any fear and asks Timo why he is selling oxazifol to junkies. He starts fighting with him and almost pushes him into the incinerator while 17 arrives to stop the fight. Timo is barely hanging on while 17 tries to rescue him. The two Mickeys continue fighting while Timo nervously hangs above the flames, awaiting his fate. While 18 is about to push him in with a hot iron rod, Nasha arrives with another team member. 18 pretends to be 17 while 17 hides. He lies and claims he was rescuing Timo, who accidentally fell in the incinerator. While Nasha shows concern for 18, 17 is watching from his hideout spot and getting jealous. While he is following them, some of Marshall's people arrive to take pictures for a promotional campaign. They tell 17 he is invited to a dinner with Marshall, forcing him to stop following Nasha and 18. At the dinner, 17 is devouring a rather weird-looking piece of steak while Ilfa asks him about the sauce. Seeing their lavish surroundings, we understand that the Marshalls don't follow any of the values they preach to their followers. They're living a lavish life on the ship, without worrying about conserving resources. Kai also arrives for the dinner while Marshall and his wife are being so fake nice that it is obnoxious. Marshall now starts saying things that reveal his true motives. He reveals that he has chosen Kai as the perfect candidate for his natural birthing program on Nibblehham. Using her genetics, he wants to create what he calls a pure white race with no flaws. Kai is taken aback by this sudden revelation and asks if Marshall sees her just as a uterus. We now understand that Marshall wants to create his own supremacist colony on Nibblehham, where white people are superior to everyone else. While they start singing a phony prayer for the female soldier who died in the cave earlier, Mickey starts throwing up. The team of scientists rushes over instantly, as if they were on standby. It is now revealed that they were testing lab-cultured fake meat on Mickey, which luckily Kai didn't eat. Mickey 17 screams in pain as he convulses on the ground. They inject an experimental painkiller into his neck to make things better. He stops for a moment and stands up, but he gets dizzy and takes a nasty fall. He grabs his head and starts screaming violently because the painkiller failed miserably and actually made his pain worse. While Marshall takes out a gun to unalive Mickey 17 out of mercy, Ilfa stops him because her carpets will be stained. While she snatches her carpet, Kai yells at them and points out their inhumane behavior. Eventually, Mickey 17 starts feeling better and Kai takes him to her room. In the room, he cleans up and she makes him some tea. They have a heartfelt conversation while sitting on the bed. While Kai tries to kiss him, he gets up and walks away because he is loyal to Nasha. Later, he sneaks back in his room where Nasha is excited to see both the Mickeys together for the first time. She draws their numbers with red lipstick on their chests and claims that she wants to have some fun. 17 is not so happy and reminds her that they are currently breaking the law. When he sniffs Nasha up close, he smells oxizofol on her, which is why she's being so unserious. While the two Mickeys start arguing again, Nasha shuts them up and makes a plan to divide food and duties equally to keep the multiples violation hidden. Eventually, the three of them get intimate together with Nasha in the middle. Kai arrives to give 17 some tea, but finds the three of them on the bed together. Seeing the multiples violation, she simply walks away. Nasha runs after her and convinces Kai to keep her secret. Kai claims she will only keep this a secret if she gets to have 17 all to herself, since they almost kissed earlier. Hearing this, Nasha gets really mad. Meanwhile in the room, 17 tells 18 about the fake meat experiment Marshall did on him, which causes 18 to get really pissed at the system. He gets extremely angry and calls 17 a loser for not standing up for himself. Eventually, he calms down and tells 17 it's not his fault. This world is simply unfair. He takes a gun and heads out on a mission to unalive Marshall. While 17 tries to stop him, 18 simply pushes him away. Marshall is now giving a phony speech while a rock from Nibblehham is being cut in half by a laser. When the rock is finally halved, he announces that his name will be etched in this rock as a monument for his superior pure white civilization on Nibblehham. While 18 shows up in the crowd and points a gun at Marshall, a creeper crawls out of the rock. A man in the crowd subdues 18 while Marshall tries to stomp on the cute little creeper. Panic ensues as everyone starts running away. While 18 tries to reach for his gun, Marshall instructs the agents to break out the hazmat suits. Everyone fails to catch the creeper while Marshall is going crazy standing on top of a table. He spots 17 in the crowd and asks him to catch the creeper. 17 starts communicating with the creeper in their language while Dorothy is witnessing this from a distance. Finally, 17 catches the creeper and puts it in a bag. At the same time, 18 finally frees himself and shoots a bullet at Marshall. Nasha jumps at him and he misses the target. Marshall is stunned at witnessing the multiples violation right before his eyes. Kai takes 18's gun away. While Marshall laments over the bullet hole in the rock, another creeper comes out and latches onto his face. Kai manages to put the first bullet in the creeper. As they open fire and blow the innocent creeper to bits, Marshall tells the agents to arrest the multiples. On Nibblehham, the other creepers can feel that some of their fellows are in trouble on the spaceship. In temporary prison, Nasha convinces 18 to lie and tell the agents he was aiming at the creeper behind Marshall and that he had no intentions to hurt Marshall. While they're discussing what will happen next, 17 reveals that the creepers actually saved his life. Nasha is taken aback by this revelation. They immediately need to share this with the scientists so humans and creepers can coexist on Nibblehham. Otherwise, the ignorant Marshall might make plans to hurt the creepers. During this, Timo arrives and gives them some leftover food. He reveals that the gruesome loan shark Darius Blank has managed to find them even in space. He has sent a letter ordering Timo to unalive Mickey with a chainsaw and film it. Otherwise, one of his associates, who happens to be on the spaceship, will end up unaliving Timo. He sheds crocodile tears and tries to play the victim card. The prison guard uses a taser to subdue 17 and take him out of his cell. While Nasha threatens Timo, 18 volunteers to be the sacrifice for Darius Blank. He successfully convinces Timo to give him a last hit of oxizofol before getting chopped up with the chainsaw. When the prison guard hands him the oxizofol capsule, 18 grabs him and slams him against the cell. Nasha takes out his taser and electrocutes Timo and the prison guard both. She takes the keys and kicks Timo on the chin upon freeing herself. While she's almost about to cut him with the chainsaw, two agents arrive on the scene. They take Nasha and both the Mickeys outside in handcuffs. From the windows, they are stunned to see thousands of creepers circling the spaceship. The scientists show up with the captured creeper, and Nasha starts telling Dorothy about 17's experience with the creepers. Dorothy talks to 17 in creeper language, but she can't do much right now since they've been ordered to show up at the incinerator. Ilfa examines the creeper and cuts off its tail to make a sauce. Just as she is blending the tail, Marshall shows up with a sinister plan. He burns 18's face so he can tell the two multiples apart, while Scientist is preparing a meat hook above one of the furnaces. He gives the brick drive to the Scientist and orders him to delete all the data. With all the data gone, the Mickeys can't be reprinted. He claims that he will unalive both of them for good, with no hopes of coming back. Nasha intervenes and claims that 18 didn't mean to aim his gun at Marshall. He was simply trying to target the creeper behind him. He doesn't buy her story and announces that they are in a state of war. Dorothy intervenes and claims that the creepers show signs of high intelligence. She reveals that they are building a translator for Marshall to communicate with the creepers, but he simply dismisses her. The creeper baby spits on Marshall's foot, and everyone starts to laugh. He throws the hot metal rod at the creeper and starts yelling that he won't waste his time with some dumb aliens. Nasha has a total mental breakdown this time and screams that humans are the aliens on Nibblehham. Humans don't get to decide who lives and dies on this planet. She finally hits the nail on the head when she insults him for losing the elections twice back on Earth. Now feeling furious, he hangs the baby creeper with a meat hook above the furnace. He lets go of the rope, and Nasha bites it to save the baby creeper from being burned alive. The fat pussy-ass scientist who has been submissive towards Marshall all this time announces that they should initiate total extermination using poison gas. The ball licker claims that Marshall should go out on the flitter when they release the poison gas himself, as if Marshall is some sort of hero. Meanwhile, Nasha continues to bite the rope. They put both the Mickeys in explosive jackets and put the remote on Marshall's arm. They make a sick plan to get the Mickeys to chop off as many creeper tails as possible. The Mickey with the most tails gets to live. When the Mickeys finally go out, Dorothy runs after them and hands 17 the translation device. They find a big creeper and start having conversation. The creeper is mad that they unalived one of her babies. The creeper wants one human to die to pay for the life of its baby. It also wants the second baby to be returned safely. Otherwise, all humans will perish. It makes a very loud sound, which prompts all the other creepers to look to the sky and release a jarring frequency. The big creeper claims this frequency will make all humans' eyeballs and eardrums explode. Mickey 17 starts signaling to the team inside in sign language that they must bring the baby outside, but they don't listen. Marshall and his idiots head out on their ground vehicles while the air squad gets ready to spray the gas. Inside, Nasha tackles Ilfa to the ground while still holding the rope in her mouth. One of the agents holds the rope and Nasha announces that she will snap Ilfa's neck if they don't take the baby creeper outside. They unlock her handcuffs and she lets Ilfa go. Ilfa instantly gets up and cuts the agent's hand with a scalpel, causing him to let go of the rope. The baby creeper almost falls into the hot fluid, but Nasha manages to secure the rope. The agent announces that Marshall and his wife will be detained for breaking various codes of conduct for the space mission. Nasha takes the baby and heads outside, while Marshall and his team start arriving towards the mother creeper. Here, they witness a unique phenomenon. All the small creepers form various mounds and disguise the mother. Marshall and his team have trouble figuring out where the mother is. Before they can attack the creepers, Mickey 18 shows up. In a heroic move, he climbs onto the truck. Nasha finally finds 17 on the ground and brings him the baby while 18 is fighting everyone on the truck. The big creeper arrives and takes the baby in her mouth. 18 pins Marshall down and presses the button on his sleeve. Both 18 and Marshall pass away in the explosion as Ilfa is having a seizure inside, watching everything on the screen. The mother creeper witnesses the human sacrifice that she demanded in return for her baby's death. 17 and Nasha are also stunned to see the explosion, feeling sad that 18 sacrificed himself to save the others. The scene now cuts to 6 months later. All the humans are having a ceremony to destroy the human printing machine and abolish the expendables program. After having a scary daydream about Ilfa coming back and printing Marshall again, 17 finally comes back to his senses and presses the button on the remote. Nasha happily looks at the explosion behind her and applauds now that the human printer is officially destroyed. She will happily spend her life with just one Mickey, and they will grow old together like a real couple. Here, the movie ends. To watch more awesome and thought-provoking movie recaps, please subscribe to Film Guy Recaps. Don't forget to like this video and tell us in the comments which movie you want to see next. Goodbye for now.